What's going on, guys? It's the Coaster Battleman here, bringing you a coaster battle for the first time in forever. It's Firehawk versus Batwing versus Nighthawk, and I have finally gotten to ride this summer all three Vekoma Flying Dutchmans, and now I can finally make a crazy three-way battle between these three coasters to see which one is the best. So let's get started. And these rides are they have some slight differences to make this like a true battle. So let's get started with the categories, and you may pause if you guys would like, if you guys want to read through the categories, but if not, let's move on. Number 1, our first category, is height, worth 5 points, and well, Firehawk, Batwing, and Nighthawk, they're all the same height, 115 feet tall. It's not really too tall, so I'm just going to give them all 1 out of 5s. It's not really the tallest, and not really super tall, but not really super short. So that's kind of like around the right score for them. Now let's talk about the speed, and this is a 10-point category. And Firehawk and Batwing both go 50 miles per hour, so I'm giving them 5 out of 10 for each of them. And Nighthawk surprisingly goes 1 mile per hour faster. So I'm just gonna give them give the ride 0.1 points more than Batwing and Firehawk. So Nighthawk has quickly taken the lead, with the score being 6.1 to 6 and then to 6. So moving on, we have the duration, and Firehawk has the longest duration out of all of these with 2 minutes and 10 seconds, followed by Batwing with 2 minutes and 2 seconds, and Nighthawk with 1 minute and 50. So for me, I didn't really notice too much of a difference at all with Firehawk and Batwing, so I'm both giving them 7 out of 10. And Nighthawk, I'm giving a 6 out of 10 because it's under 2 minutes. It's 1 minute 50, so that's the reason why I'm giving it only 6 points instead of 7 points. Now, this is the category that'll make or break this battle for these coasters: smoothness. And Firehawk is easily the smoothest out of all these three Flying Dutchmans. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Batwing is actually pretty smooth as well. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Just not as smooth as Firehawk, but not too much of a difference. But Nighthawk was super shaky the whole ride, so I'm giving it a 4 out of 10, and it is falling behind now, with Batwing and Firehawk pulling up ahead. Next, we have the inversions, worth 8 points, and Firehawk and Batwing, they have some very fun inversions, and I'm giving them 7 out of 8. Both of them, because, well, the inversions are smooth and they're really enjoyable. And I just really love the inversions on these flying coasters. These Flying Dutchmans have like the best inversions. Well, other than the pretzel loop, but still, really good elements. But Nighthawk, unfortunately, getting a 3 out of 8 for the inversions. The ride's shaking the whole time, so the inversions aren't as enjoyable as Firehawk and Batwings. Next, we have intensity, and all these coasters, they aren't super intense, like crazy, like Intimidator 305 or Maverick. Nothing like that, but they do have some very nice intense moments, like that vertical loop, and some of the transitions are pretty intense, so I'm giving them all 4 out of 7. Next, we have the drop, which is worth 5 points, and Batwing and Firehawk have decent drops. You have that transition from the laying down position to the flying position, which is a really cool transition, which I really like on the Vekoma Flying Dutchmans. I think it's pretty cool, and the drops are smooth, so I'm giving them 3 out of 5. And Ms. Nighthawk is really shaky. I'm giving it a 2 out of 5 instead. Like, these drops aren't like insanely good, but I think they're decent, and they're pretty solid. So that's kind of the scores right there. And the capacity, worth 7 points. And RCDB says that Firehawk and Batwing both have 1,430 riders per hour for the max capacity, while Nighthawk, unfortunately, goes with only 1,000 riders per hour, which is pretty bad. So Firehawk and Batwing both getting 4 out of 7s and 3 out of 7 for Nighthawk. Moving on, we have the theming, and we have Firehawk, which I would give a 1 out of 5. The theming isn't really that noticeable. Like, the logo is pretty cool. I really like the font with the letters for the Firehawk name, but other than that, there's not really anything else. Batwing actually has some decent theming, in my opinion, as it has this whole pathway dedicated to the ride with a bunch of cutouts of Batman villains and the Batman hero. This is like Robin, Batgirl, Batman. And I think it's pretty cool, and the station has a pretty cool feel to it. You have the Batman logo. So I think the theming is really good on Batwing. Definitely one of the best themed coasters out of all Six Flags parks I've been to. And Nighthawk, all it had was the logo, and that was kind of it. So moving on, we have the setting, which this is something that Firehawk and Batwing, they have decent spots of land where they're over the grass and they're in a decent area. But Nighthawk has a beautiful setting as it goes over the water, and the color scheme really fits in with the water, and it just makes the ride pop a lot more, which makes it more of an attractive ride. But still, the winner is Batwing. So congratulations to Batwing. You have won the coaster battle between the best Vekoma Flying Dutchmans, or the main three, and you are officially the top dog. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more videos. And here is the final score if you guys wanted to see. Batwing barely edged out Firehawk. 45 points for Batwing, 44 for Firehawk, and 34.1 for Nighthawk. So Nighthawk, the smoothness definitely killed it from being on the level of Firehawk and Batwing. While Firehawk is a bit smoother than Batwing, Batwing has definitely better theming, but in my opinion, the coaster battle, you can go either way between Firehawk and Batwing, but for me, I prefer Firehawk when doing the overall ride experience. When talking about all of this stuff we just mentioned, Batwing's the better ride, but in my opinion, I really enjoy riding Firehawk and Batwing both around the same. And Nighthawk's kind of meh. It's not really that great. But my next coaster battle will be a three-way battle between the Giga coasters I've ridden: Millennium Force, Intimidator 305, and Fury 325. I hope you guys enjoyed this three-way battle. Stay tuned for more videos.